Maldo's Magic Podcast, live episode at Buddha Belly Record Store in Sayville, NY. On this episode, we will dive deep into Cancer season with the High Priestess and Hangman tarot keys. This is Maldo's Magic.
All right, so the title of today's class is Tarot and High Magic. This is part 3. We're still in Cancer season, so this is going to be the last lesson for Cancer season. The 2 keys we're going to focus on will be the High Priestess, key number 2, and the Hangman, which is key number 12. This is Maldo's Magic. So now let me hand this out for you guys, just so you have it. Just put it to the side if you want, but if you want to take notes, I want to print it out so you can see the 2 cards we're focusing on. You could even color them too if you want, later when you get home.
I want to get a color deck now. That seems like a fun thing to do.
It is. No, it's great.
And you learn a lot about that.
It is really fun.
Because you spend time with the card.
Right.
It's like more intimate, it connects to your subconscious more that way. So let's start off this card right here. So there's a lot going on right here. When someone sees this card, what shows you that it's connected to Cancer? Is anyone what do you see from what we learned in the past lessons, how Cancer is, what type of sign it is? Is there anything that sticks out in this card, in the High Priestess?
Is that the Jewish letter on the left?
Yeah, they're both Jewish, right?
Oh, right here?
Yeah, but is
here?
that the one that's related with Cancer?
Okay, so
I forgot which one.
it's okay. We'll probably eventually do a Hebrew class one day too. So these 2 are 2 pillars. So everything falls back to the tree of life, which has 3 pillars. It has the one on the left, one on the right. This is a pillar of severity. This is a pillar of mercy. In Masonic terms, this is a pillar of Boaz and Joachim. So that's what these represent. This is the B, that's Beth in Hebrew, and this is the Yod, which is like J or Y in Hebrew. Mm-hmm. So that's what that represents. So she's basically sitting in the middle of these 2 pillars. Is anything else you notice besides the Hebrew?
The rose in the middle.
Where's the rose at?
Is the rose in the background or no?
Oh,
Those
actually,
flowers?
those are actually pomegranates.
Oh, pomegranates, gotcha.
And that connects to, Masonically too, and other,
Like a
pomegranates.
wave on the bottom?
Okay, there you
What
go.
is that?
Water?
Is that water?
The water, right?
Ah, now you get it, yeah. So this is like, now kind of understanding how this card connects to Cancer, because Cancer is a water sign, right?
Yeah.
Cancer's the crown.
Yeah, yeah.
So is it supposed to look like her robe is part of the water or something like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Because the bottom has the
That's
light
on all the cards,
from
I
the
never noticed
waves.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I never noticed that.
Cards are they're telling you a story, and it's trying to allude to different items. So because the High Priestess really connects to your subconscious, and your subconscious is where you're in the cosmic mind stuff, or the wave or ocean of the mind. So
Well, she looks protected too,
Okay.
because she's
How
got
so?
the pillars right on either side of her. I'm assuming she's on a throne or something.
Yep.
And it kind of looks like she's against a wall, like a trellis or something. So she's secure there. So that has to do with that external, crab kind of thing.
Yeah, excellent. And does anyone know what Egyptian goddess she connects to?
Oh yeah, he told me the other day. It's not Osiris.
I don't know that man.
Oh, really?
Isis?
Okay, I'll go back to
No,
Egyptian goddess, not a goddess.
Goddess.
Yeah.
I'm I'm not good at my Egyptology.
It's okay. Isis.
Oh, Isis. That's
So use the High Priestess. Just connects to Isis. This is the Isis crown. It's like a crescent moon. So it has the 2 crescents and then the full moon.
Right.
So that represents, waxing
really?
on this side. Yeah, waxing on this side. I know the top is cut off, but it alludes to that. Waxing, full moon, and then waning.
Ah, I love that. Yeah.
And so that's why you always want to be waning. You always want to lose your severity. You don't want to always be too severe. So you always want to. So that's why it's on the left side, and you always want to gain on mercy. You always want to be merciful.
Right.
So that, but then the middle is when the moon is at its height. It's full moon, which is beauty of the sun.
Right.
So that's how it connects to the tree of life. So all right, let's continue to the next slide.
John, real quick, not to be like perverted or anything, but on top of each pillar, it looks like kind of a yoni. Am I bugging or not?
It looks a little like it.
Right? It
A
looks
little
like
like
it.
it, yeah.
I don't know if it's like meant to be that or anything.
Like
What
it's
do you mean by that?
unfolding.
It looks like, yeah, it looks like an unfolding, like,
Vagina.
yeah, on the very top, see? Up, high,
Up.
right there.
Yeah, there.
On
Okay,
both
I
sides.
mean, okay.
I wonder if that's like intentional.
So do you know what those really are, too, as well? It's like basically they're unbudded. It's like a plant or a flower that hasn't budded yet. So yeah, a flower could be symbolized to
Symbolized.
divine feminine, feminine properties to it.
What are the green things behind?
Those look like palm trees or palms.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of to show you that
It's like fertility.
Everything in your subconscious is where the beauty lies, and then you can't really see it here, but the scroll she has is Torah, the law. So the law is in there. You have to understand the law of your subconscious, but the pomegranates behind it represent the immensity of all the creativity that we have in our subconscious. It's a whole endless universal wave of creativity that flows out, and realistically this actually flows out into the next card in the whole tarot line, which would be the Empress. The Empress is now someone that's in a field, green plenty, represents Virgo. So the Empress gets her ideas and stuff from the High Priestess. Because High Priestess represents that inner priest that guards and protects your
Some more
subconscious.
intuition.
Yeah. Yeah, so does anyone know any other ways how it connects to Cancer? We said a lot of them, but anything
The
you
moon, I
can
mean,
think of?
obviously the moon.
Okay, we got the moon, all right.
We got the moon, we got the water.
Yeah, okay, good. Moon, water.
What's that scroll she's holding? What is that?
Oh, that's what we just went over, the Torah.
The
You
Torah.
can't read it here, it's really hard to read it, but
okay.
and Torah means law.
Okay.
It's also like an anagram, it's also rota, it's also tarot, it's all.
That's right, Torah.
And the
Tarot.
Wheel of Fortune card, yeah, so it's trying to allude to something, but it's all, you also see the cross here, but it's an equal arm cross, which represents the 4 elements. So balancing your internal elements, because there's 4 external elements, but we also have 4 internal elements.
Right.
Why is everything so coded? Like, why is everything so, like, all about symbols? Why are we not more direct?
Because we see the symbols.
Because,
Right.
so your subconscious sees in symbols and pictures, and then the vibration we of the idea is a word, which it's direct, right, with the word, but even some word, even texting sometimes isn't that direct, right? Even it's how you say it, even tonality,
Yeah.
when you say words,
Yeah.
and so
Some of these metaphors, like, these are visual metaphors.
yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah, it's to make you think. It's to, it's to make you to read, because your subconscious, your mind, your creativity, you have to grow, you have to work at it for it to be able to just think on a dime of to create something. So the more you use it, the more that part of us grows. But in modern days, we've been so stuck with the phone and this and that, where
Yeah.
we lost the art of being a magician.
Or
All
just
this-
fucking being present.
Yeah.
or just being present, yeah.
So true.
Very true. All right, so the High Priestess Tarot Key number 2 is also connects to the Hebrew letter Gimel. So that's the other Hebrew letter. Once again, the Boda deck, they all have the numbers and letters on the bottom, whatever Hebrew letter it connects to, and then that shows you whatever path on the tree of life. And this is the Rider-Waite deck. As they both connect to the moon, and can anyone see any differences or similarities within these two cards?
Well, there's like maybe sunflowers instead of pomegranates, or I don't know.
I think
what
there's
that
still,
is.
it looks like pomegranates still, but they have,
I'm sorry.
yeah, yellow around it.
So wait, what? Oh, that's the Rider-Waite versus the Boa.
Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys, so like, because this is the most common used deck.
Right.
This is really only like the third most common used deck,
Well,
so
the moon
no one
is
really
at the
knows about
bottom. The moon, you know, the moon's at the bottom of that one.
it. Okay.
It's not on the left, you know.
Alright, okay,
So
so that's
there's
good.
extra, you know, moon energy happening.
Yeah, and then also the differences too, you see, they actually put the letters in English alphabet, right?
Yeah.
Instead of in Hebrew. But
Yeah.
that's a B really in Hebrew, and that's really a J or Y, because there's no J in Hebrew, and they use a Y, so they put
Now,
that in there.
that priestess is a little more slender too and a little taller.
Right here, this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
a little bit. It just looks like she's more.
Oh, the pillars are
Their pillars are
open
different.
and heightened at the
Yeah.
top, right?
Oh, look at that, yeah, they look open,
Yeah,
okay.
Open, like open flowers. Maybe the flowers are closed on the left and then they're open on the right.
Yeah, these look like closed ones. You know, there's a lot of different pillar symbolism. Some have them open, closed. As you go to different groups or orders, they change different things on top of the pillars.
Right. Also, her dress on the right, I see like the water kind of coming off of her dress, and it's like not. It's more veiled on the right, like it's like blended into a dress.
This is more
above the
veiled, you
water.
say?
Yeah, because you can't.
This
really
more you
tell
can tell
what-
it's like this is
that's
like
like a
foam.
wave.
This is supposed to be
That's
foam
Yeah.
or wave.
yeah, that's like a straight up wave.
Yeah, so that's why like with this card, like if you couldn't tell it's connected to the moon, now you could tell that her foot's on the moon. Well, the moon's on the lowest part there.
Yeah.
So that it's very explicit right there, showing you that. Any other differences or similarities?
She's still holding the stuff. The things.
The colors are a little bit more bright. I
On this
guess.
card, right?
Yeah.
What's on the bottom that it looks like a moon symbol on the bottom? There's no moon on the bottom.
This right here?
Crescent?
Yeah, that's what you said before.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. So this that's what I was just touching on. So that this moon right here, basically, it's more in your face. Like this card somehow connects to the moon because the crescent's there. This
Yeah.
card you can't really tell. Unless someone really didn't tell you what this crown represents, most people would not really get it. That
Yeah.
this is like the Isis crown crescent
So
moon.
cool, yeah. She's still got the cross in the middle.
They use a little darker blue here than like a lighter blue.
Yeah.
You could tell in the back there's like water.
Those columns are a lot more thick, also.
These, right?
Yeah.
But the difference is too, look at how it starts off square, cubical on the bottom, like way more. So it could represent like material, base consciousness ascending, but it hasn't really fully blossomed yet on here. Where here is more, they're more, I guess, cylinder, round, and it looks like it kind of flourished a little more there.
Yeah.
But the authors of the symbols in these cards were both in the same order, like so they have the same magical like understanding, but everyone expresses of how will we learn differently.
Yeah. It's interesting because the art style is so similar.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, hey, I'm going to make a new deck, they could have used a different illustration style. What year were each of the decks? Or were they concurrent? They weren't, like, right next to each other, right?
I want to say Boda was probably in like 1920s, around there, maybe or a little, either around that time or a little later, whereas the Rider-Waite deck was probably maybe a decade before. I don't know exact dates, but Rider-Waite, Arthur E. Waite, was in the Golden Dawn, like the original one in Great Britain, so which started in 1888. So
I'm just thinking art historically wise, some things must have changed in those 10 years. I'm surprised that they're actually stayed so
the difference
similar.
too is that if you go back to it, so the person that designed this card, He was in the Golden Dawn, and he left because he didn't like the Enochian magic. So his order, which is called Bodo.
What's Enochian?
Enochian magic has to do with Enoch. You've heard of the Book of Enoch?
Yeah.
Or Prophet Enoch, right? Enoch, which connects to Metatron. So basically, during Queen Elizabeth I's time, right?
Yeah.
And that's in what, I guess, late 1400s, around there. There was a guy named John Dee. John Dee was Queen Elizabeth I's astrologer. He was the one that consulted her with astrological stuff, and he was also her spy. Who the James Bond character got? He would sign his letters as 007.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they got that from. Yeah, he was one of the original spies. Yeah, in England for Queen Elizabeth I, because him and Edward Kelly were both doing some magic where they were. Scrying is when you look into either a crystal ball or obsidian stone, and you basically do incantations to try to invoke spirits or angels. And he had Edward Kelly would do the scrying and would translate to him what the angels were saying. So they created a angelic language called Enochian alphabet.
So he would literally look in a crystal and be able to hear.
Yeah. So. Hear, see, there's a lot of invocations they would do. There's groups that actually do this where they could actually make beings appear within the crystal. Oh yeah.
Black obsidian is known to
Black obsidian.
They have black obsidian mirrors. They're very expensive, but you can do some wild stuff with black obsidian.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can it's like a little spooky.
Yeah. So then basically. Arthur E. Wade, he kept, he was still doing the Golden Dawn stuff. He left and basically started his own group too as well. But you're gonna see a lot of similarities here. But I think this one to me looks more defined a little bit, a little more defined, a little more
especially the waves on the bottom.
Yeah, you could tell this guy
clear.
was more about doing things right and he not going too deep in him, where he was just trying to get the message across. So, but
and
I
also
think
the Hebrew letters are not veiled on the other side.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, is the whole BMJ thing, is that supposed to be public knowledge? Because that's a Masonic thing. That's we're kind of sworn to not share.
Well, no, because if all that stuff. Really, what this
is that really still a thing? Are Masons not allowed to discuss shit?
Yeah.
This stuff, yeah, we of course. Okay, so if you go everything, even Masonic and esoteric stuff, a lot of it stems from the Bible, the Western occult way, right? So in the book of Kings, it explains when King Solomon built the temple.
Is that apocrypha?
No, it's in most Bibles. Book of Kings is in King James version and Catholic Bible, Protestant Bible. It's a common book that they all agree on.
Okay.
But they talk about everyone heard King Solomon before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So King Solomon had a temple, and they explained the temple with being supported by two pillars of Joachim and Boaz. So these are actually biblical stuff. Yeah, it's just stuff in the Bible. So remember, it's all for those who have eyes to see, ears to hear, right? All right,
In the Masons for women, do they have the same secrets that the men do?
So Masons, women, it's a group called the Eastern Star. They actually more or less dive into the female characters in the Bible, and they teach the symbols of their stories. Because there's a lot of famous females in the Bible, strong figures too.
But it's not the same knowledge that's shared between the two.
Think of it as using different symbolism, because one is meant to help craft or build better character for the masculine. So men, we have higher testosterone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Women have more estrogen. So men, that are not really subduing themselves, or they're too animalistic, it helps men to become more gentlemen, to be more knightly. Which females don't really need that. You guys are very caring, right? You're not as aggressive as men. So it's really meant for men to help them to keep that aggressiveness in check. to be balanced and to be in harmony with everyone. Where females is different, you know, you don't really need that as much because you're already nurturing as it is, and, you know, with your so. But you know, there's other groups that are co-ed, little with outside of Masonry and stuff. When you get more into like mystical and spiritual stuff, like Rosicrucian orders are very all co-ed. Boda that teaches these tarot cards is co-ed.
Yeah, why do you think it is that the Masons are still divided?
May I?
Okay.
Something I learned was that really like made sense was, you know, it's just like a men's group to like make men better, right? And women are distractions, to be honest. Like if we're inside the thing and there's like 12 of us and now 4, you know, like women are there, we're naturally gonna, you know, try to like impress them or, you know, be like distracted or maybe like nervous, or this guy might be like jealous because now,
I think
you know,
that's
you're
a
like
man
taking,
problem.
but it's,
No,
but it's also,
right.
it is.
It is, yes.
It is,
But like-
but
but like,
that's why
In society,
we
you're
do better
gonna
work.
encounter women,
Sure.
so what's the difference?
Because in the lodge, we leave the whole profane light world outside. So this
you're
is like a
trying not to
sacred,
think with your dick.
for the most part, yeah. It's all about
Yes.
your upper like chakras. That's why
Good
you
way to
know
say it,
the
yeah.
whole like apron. It covers
Right,
your
right,
lowest.
aprons, yeah.
It literally like your lowest. You know, like part of you is like blocked off. So now it's all about this. You're gonna raise your heart. You're gonna raise your, you know, your throat, your mind. You know, so it's like, it's a distraction. And, you know, at first I didn't like it too, because I was like, it doesn't make sense. It seems, you know, very like divided and stuff, but it's not. I mean, women need women things and men need men things. I think it's very like
I mean,
healthy.
I think that's okay,
Super
but
healthy.
I don't think that everybody shouldn't be privy to the same exact knowledge.
Well, the good thing about Masonry, can I add this one?
Yeah,
The
sure.
good thing about Masonry is that most of the knowledge, you know, the only thing that is secrets are like the rituals and like handshakes and key words. But besides that, all the knowledge anyone could buy Masonic books.
Yeah.
I can give you a whole list of it. You could buy them.
It's all out there,
read them,
so it's not
all
hidden.
on Prime.
Not
So it's not
hidden.
hidden. Like you could learn the symbolism.
Did you know that Masons are not allowed to be on church boards?
What is it?
A church board. Like,
What kind of church
like if say they're in, so like I heard I went to Greek Orthodox church,
Okay.
right, growing up. And I heard that, like, if you're in the Masons, you're not allowed to be on a church board
Really?
or something like that,
I never heard that
because
before.
something like your alliances or something are different, or like, I don't know.
You know, there's been a whole thing with the church and, you know, the Roman Catholic Church. I know there's always been a thing that was about Masonry, because the problem is what Masonry really does is it's non-sectarian. We leave religion and politics outside the door. No one can talk about that stuff.
You're like, all that shit we were talking about it here, that would never
not allowed to talk about that.
Because it like divides people.
So
there's no spirituality, like,
Yeah.
All spiritual.
it's all spirituality, but
it's all spirituality, but
No
not
politics
organized.
and
yeah,
no religion.
so like think
Religion
about it
is
like
not
this.
spirituality.
You have to believe in a high power. So you have to, you know, we take different obligations, and it's Muslim could use the Quran to do it. Christian could use the Holy Bible. A Jewish person could use the Tanakh. So everyone could use the faith. Someone that believes in Gnosticism, they can use a Gnostic Bible. You can't be an atheist to be a Mason. You have to believe in a high power, in God. And so the whole point of it is to bridge the gap, because sometimes you really want to see a liberal and a Republican together, right? Always meeting together. Well, you wouldn't see like maybe a Jewish person and a Muslim together, but in Masonry you do.
So everybody,
That-
all races,
Everything.
all
Yeah.
creeds, religions, everybody.
So
Yeah, but like,
it's
you know,
trying to
no
teach
offense,
harmony.
but like,
Yeah. It's all
like
about
if you're
harmony.
a woman,
Mhm.
like, I'm not a Mason, I'm a like whatever Midnight Rose or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it does not hold the same panache. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's the same exact thing. It's the same
But
thing.
it,
Oh, I
but
see
it
what you're
does
saying. No, I see what you're
not
saying. Yeah.
have the same,
Think of it as
like,
this.
oh my God, you're a, you know, whatever. Like, nobody's gonna be, like, they're not
No
gonna
one
even
does.
know what, you
Well,
know.
so they have their own society.
They have their own. They're huge.
There's
They're
like
massive.
I'm a Shriner too as well. So you know we support Shriners Children's Hospital, and there's a female version too.
What is a Shriner?
This is we go down a lot of rabbit holes.
No, yeah.
So a Shriner is basically it's based off like
Yeah, because you wear those hats,
yeah,
right?
Fez.
Yeah.
It's based off, it's a Fez. So a Fez is from Fez in Morocco, and it was a symbol of intellect. The intellectual people in the universities wore the Fez. So it's just a status of intellectual. And so basically with Masonry, it was created as a way.
Can a woman be a Shriner?
Yes, it's called Daughters of the Nile. There's a female branch of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so is that like another kind of secret society thing?
No, they're not
secret.
they're not
There's buildings
secret.
everywhere.
Yeah, we have hospitals everywhere.
Well, I know, like
Yeah.
Masons aren't secret anymore. They used
They've
to
never
be
been really.
secret.
They've always been lodges everywhere.
Yeah.
A real like secret, society, you wouldn't even know their names.
You won't know about it. You know.
We advertise as a freaking lodge right across the bill and says
Yeah.
Masons. We need
Yeah,
to
we're
go to
literally
my
across the street, yeah.
That's not like a secret, society. We wouldn't even be, talking about it. If it
Yeah,
was.
secret societies, there's no building.
Mhm.
You only know the location to meet if you get accepted. And if you get accepted, like,
There's crazy shit.
crazy
Do you think there really
allegations.
is, like, for real secret societies?
100%.
Like,
I don't know.
like that the presidents and shit have been
100%.
in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skull and
of course.
Bones.
I don't think I know.
Was exposed.
So,
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
thinking. We 100% know. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
No,
There's
yeah.
gotta be. Because some of these people that became president, you're like, what?
Yeah.
How? But sorry, okay.
It's okay. All right, so back to tarot. All right, so High Priestess. So now, all the voter cards have a Hebrew letter, so I'm just going to make this a little clearer, connected to them. So it just deepens the symbolism. And the Hebrew letter connected to the High Priestess is Gimel. So now why Gimel and also intensifies the connection with Cancer and the Moon, because Gimel is in astrology is a symbol for Luna. So I mean, that's how it connects in astrological and Kabbalistic information. But Gimel is actually a Hebrew word for camel.
Really?
Everybody ever seen a camel before?
Yeah,
With the hump.
has humps.
Right? It has got those humps, right?
Is that what the letter looks like?
Yeah, so that's supposed to be like
Looks like an old school phone.
its head. It's supposed to be like it's like I think it's hoof right here and its head. But yeah.
Because I'm not, because you're always like standing
Yeah.
in front of me.
No,
so
right.
I'm gonna-
You'll get like a front row seat over there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we kind of made it on the side this time, because I was like, I feel like we could see better.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And so we have a Gimel right here, connects to the moon, High Priestess. But now you have to go ever deeper. What's a camel? What is a camel about? What does a camel symbolize to you? What do you think of a camel?
Transportation.
Okay, anyone else?
Storage.
Storage? What about you, John?
Endurance.
Yeah, I'll probably say endurance.
All you guys are right. It's transportation. Why? Because this is how deep it gets. Because if this is your subconscious, you have to understand, connect to the lunar energy, right? Which is the energy that transports the solar light, reflective light, right? To reflect, to go within. Because the camel is something that transports.
So the left is a Gimel.
Yeah.
The
So right here,
left
okay, right?
thingy- Yeah.
This right here is the Gimel.
Okay.
These are Yod or J, and this is Bet or B for A in English, just in Hebrew.
See, it looks like similar, the two, like the Gimel and that.
Yeah, because you know why? Because
one.
Hebrew, every Hebrew letter has this, the Yod. Yod represents the hand of God. So it means that every letter was created by the hand of God. Because look, if you look up here, if you cut this out, that's still Yod.
Yeah.
Wow.
So look, if you cut this out
Yeah.
here,
I never
look,
knew
that's
that.
still Yod.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. It's
So it's God's language.
so that's what the Kabbalists say in their interpretation, right? And how they saw it. Maybe they could have saw these things in flames and how the flame moves, and they say that the flame moves in ways that predicted all these letters.
That's
And then
cool.
these letters, remember, this was their interpretation of what a camel looked like. Or this is their interpretation of a hand. And maybe like this. So a lot of their letters are pictures, not the best picture, more like a flat picture,
Yeah.
but they're also pictures of something back in the
Yeah, it
Hebrew
symbolized
times.
something way back when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this and it, yeah, and it's a little deeper. It's what probably in further lessons we'll do. But there's something in Kabbalah called pathworking. So this is actually one of the last ways or direct way to the divine or Godhead up here. This is the crown. Is through the High Priestess. She guards this area. This is called the abyss. This is the area where, in magical lore, if you cross this area, you're not living in this world anymore. You're ascended. You're out of here. So this is meaning it's something that really doesn't happen while we're alive.
It's kind of like that weird woman we talked about that ascended herself, and she, remember what, I forgot what we said her name was. The woman that was a spiritualist and was just like, I'm gonna die now. And then she like died.
Oh, yeah, who was that? A lot of people have that.
I know Yogananda did that.
Yeah,
I don't know the woman that did that, but I remember we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about that in class, and I was like, wow, that's crazy that you could be so spiritual that you could like ascend. You could just be like,
Yeah,
sorry.
you're like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, because the whole point is right now we're all good at mastering the external. We're all good at you were able to come here to go to work, right? To do the school academic pursuit you're doing right now. He was able to open this up, so we're all really good on this external. But spirituality teaches you to look inward so you could create the same thing as above, so below, within, so you can understand when you are ready to transition, you're forming where you're going, rather than just saying, oh, whatever happens, happens. Oh, maybe I'll go to heaven, I'm good. No, maybe you go where you're gonna create that realm here. You have to be active here to do it, to understand the concept. So that's why people like that can do that, because they've taken the time to go within, meditate, and build up forms and build up their discipline to be able to understand how to really transition when you pass away. Or to just pick when you want to do it.
Yeah, because like, energy doesn't die, so
Nope.
something happens. And like, it's like, to me, who the fuck knows what exactly happens?
We don't know, because right now we don't know. Technically, we don't know. Like, I don't know if I really didn't wake up today, right? I don't know that. This part of me could have, but another version could have.
Well, yeah.
So you don't really know what's
Yeah.
reality, not. It's so. That's what they say.
There's a lot
like-
of theories, about, each choice that you make. Is there, another, universe where you
Yeah,
make a different
multiverses.
choice?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different things, choices and whatever,
And there's books that touch on it too. The good book that I just got recently, the Enochian Keys, right? Keys of Wisdom. Really
Keys of
good book.
Knowledge.
Keys of Knowledge.
Yeah.
It dives deep into all this stuff, but it's
Amazing.
good for us to understand this stuff first. Kabbalah, he references a lot of it. So you want to have the language first and understanding it. I'm not saying you have to speak Hebrew fluently, but know what a letter means, know what it connects to. So when you read more intricate books, you could kind of understand what they're trying to.
I could bond with my sister-in-law. She's Jewish.
There you go. All right, so let's go to card 2. Moving along, the Hangman. So, what when you look at this card, what do you see? Like, can anyone see how it maybe connects to the moon?
So I see the left and right symbolism on the Bodhi side, like the two trees, I guess, essentially.
These two
Could be
trees.
could be like the left and the right, like the High Priestess.
Okay, all right, okay. So
Right.
you're saying, all right.
How it connects to the moon. I see the moon, right?
There
I
we
see
go.
the
Yeah,
crescent.
that's the most explicit right
Boom.
there.
And then also the cross is right in the middle of him. See the different elements. The cross
okay.
right there.
Right here.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Did you get it? Down. No. Up. Yeah. The cross right there.
Yeah.
But on the right side, it's not there.
But on the right side, there is a cross there. I don't know if can anyone see the cross on this side?
Is
On
it his
the
legs?
right?
Oh no.
On the right bottom? The bottom right?
You're saying over here?
Yeah.
That's just their signature for the art.
Oh.
So this is like why you need to. It's important to understand historical, crosses and stuff and different. This is actually where he's tied to is called the Tau cross. The Tau cross is the cross that doesn't have like the head part, like you say a Christian cross, or it doesn't have an equal arm cross, but it's called the Tau cross. And he's hanging from the Tau cross.
But the one on the left looks like a structure.
The one on the left, believe it or not, is actually meant to symbolize a Hebrew letter.
Yeah, I was thinking that when I saw it,
Yeah.
but the one on the right doesn't.
You could tell
look
that,
like.
you know, the designer of this card, they were heavily into the Hebrew symbolism, whereas this card, he wasn't as big into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was more big into connecting it to more like, you know, medieval Arthurian legend, like the dresses and the Rider-Waite deck looks more, you know, medieval style.
Yeah.
Rather than this is, it looks, but he has his flavor of like Hebrew and different symbols. He throws a lot of symbols on here than rather on this one. And also, if you see how there's a cross here, this makes a triangle. This is a cross. This is actually the inverted symbol of a sulfur. It's a alchemical process. Sulfur, yeah. It's in alchemy, it's an alchemical process. So.
But then there's also what's curious is that the leg is one leg is behind the other.
Yeah, because
the left leg.
The symbol for sulfur is a triangle, right? And then a cross under it. So that represents this is a triangle right here, and this is a cross. So it's understanding is to use the whatever sulfur connects to alchemy, but you're inverting it. So that's why the Hangman is all about inverting yourself. You know, really changing yourself, or using this because remember white connects to like higher consciousness, super conscious. It's like taking that and putting it into the material. That's why it's inverted. It's not so much as a man who the hell would sit like this, but also he looks comfortable. He has one leg tied,
right.
His hands behind his back. He doesn't look like he's stressing.
Right.
It's funny because you think the hanged man, you would think that they're hanging by their neck.
Yeah, see,
But they're not.
it's a surface level of understanding that. Yeah, Hangman, but Hangman. I don't know about you, but exactly right. So that's why it's like, wait, how's he Hangman? You know, but wait, why is it 1 foot, not 2 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Those little things that seem out of order, that's what clues you to, wait, there's a deeper thing to this. There's a deeper symbolism he's trying to allude to. And that's what it kind of gets you to like go deeper with understanding. You know, if it doesn't make sense, then that means it doesn't mean, you know, a regular Hangman. And then that's why they show these things like that. Anything else anyone notices?
On the Boda deck, they have isn't that a Jewish letter with the trees?
Yeah, good. So it could be two things. It could be the Hebrew letter Tau, which is cross, or it could be the Hebrew letter Het, which connects to Cancer, which is a fence. So either or, but this Hebrew letter is actually, we'll get to shortly, is Mem. And this right here is what connects it to...
And this is supposed to connect to Cancer?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Okay, so what's Cancer? The crab.
Mm-hmm.
Crab is what? A water sign.
Yeah.
Right? What is Cancer ruled by?
Emotions.
The moon.
The moon. You see, so it's water, the moon. So there's the moon here, and this card is connected to the elemental symbol of water, which is Mem.
Mm.
So it's.
So it has like the Mem, but on the right,
Mm-hmm.
then there's very little connection to water.
Over here, you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's. I couldn't tell this was water. But using this deck, I wouldn't know that.
So is this card about changing to enlighten yourself? Like you need to make a change to find the answer?
Is that how you interpret it?
That's the way it seems, because like to change your vantage point.
Right, it's kind of like flip upside down, like have a new perspective.
Yeah, so like, sometimes when I'm, doing work on the computer, putting stuff together, like today I was doing this, I decided I have an inversion table to go in my other room, and I actually go on the inversion table and invert myself, but I actually put my hands like the same position, so I envision myself like the Hangman, because I do it sometimes when I want inspiration, right? Because I'm doing something totally out of order. Who really hangs upside down to get inspiration? But it's like you're tricking your system from your body from a natural behavior of maybe just.
Doesn't it also allow like the blood to go to your head too?
Yeah.
So maybe you could think more if there's more blood in your head.
just to, help you bring some insight. But the Hangman's all about reversing, either reversing your thinking or letting that divine inspiration sink in. And sometimes it takes us inverting our thinking. Like you're reversing the way you think about something, where you're bringing that divine down to earth. That's what it symbolizes. That's why the head. Remember, the head. It's white, connects to.
Well, because it's like it has like the light coming off.
Yeah, and
of
what
it.
is that? The sun,
So,
right?
like-
Solar or halo.
Yeah, so like to me, that's like kind of saying like enlightenment.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anything else? Anyone?
Yeah. Is oh, okay. Is that what the sun around his head means? Like he's flipping upside down to kind of gain some light.
Gain inspiration, gain light.
Okay.
And also what light could be seen as a halo.
Right.
Because light already you see that around some pictures of saints, right?
So yeah, if he's like comfortable and just hanging with his like hands, kind of like chilling, just like it's almost like he needs to like meditate to think of something in a different perspective. Like you know what? Like let me look at this a different way. Is that something?
Yeah, and let me look at it in a different.
Because at first the hangman's like, oh my god, it's horrible, you're hanging, and it's like.
But it's not a typical way of hanging, because when you think of someone getting hanged, right, it's on their neck.
Yeah.
So the fact that this person's hanging
it's
from
almost like willingly, like he tied himself up himself. Yeah.
You got it right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's about willingly submitting to the divine, right, and to help the divine to change, to reverse the way you've been thinking.
Right.
If we don't submit to divine energies, to a higher power than ourselves, freely and easily, then it's almost hard. We're going to be stuck in the materialistic way of thinking.
Right.
So there's a lot of different meanings to it, and
I love that. That's awesome.
yeah, that's a.
Oh, sorry. Last thing on the right. So I'm not sure if we said it, but there's like the leaves on the top.
Mhm.
There's like the grass on the top, and on the left side there's like greenery on the bottom and not the top.
Yeah, so this I didn't notice that, but if you look at right on the deck, a lot of his stuff alludes to like a branch or something blossoming, right? So remember wood connects to the magician's wand, because a wand is invoking, right, bringing magic in. So that's why he's showing that. It's just he's basically showing that when you invert your thinking, you'll start to grow buds or flourish. You'll start to flourish creativity and ideas.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Which you really want to maybe get on this card.
Yeah. Someone should invent like a hangman float tank or something, because that's what floating is.
I think that the
Right?
version table is good for. I've been doing it.
Yeah.
I literally go on the version table and I put my hands like this, and I just act like I envision because I meditate these cards and I see myself as that card. What is it? What do I get from it? What does it represent? And obviously I can't cross my leg like that because your legs are both in there.
Right.
But I can still do this movement, and I just kind of let go and trust the process and just trust divine inspiration.
Yeah.
So it's really all about learning to submit to divine or your higher self or guardian angel.
Right.
Did you ever and I've done this before, look at the night sky? And I took like a meditation class in college, and they said to imagine that you're actually looking down from above.
Yeah.
And like just that, like if you really sit there and you try to imagine yourself like that you're actually floating and you're looking at that below you, like it really fucks with your brain.
You know what you're talking about? Astral projection. It's real. People do it. And it's all about understanding. You have to be creative. You have to have imagination. You have to use the mind and connect to Sagittarius energy of pulling back that bow, finding a target, and going out there. But you have to have creativity and imagine. You have to imagine yourself as being all-knowing, all-seeing. If you could do that, you could get to that. You could astral project and you could see yourself.
There was like a really cool
It's
show
very possible,
that was
yeah.
on Netflix about astral projection.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. It was really good because actually somebody projected themselves into another person's body, whatever. But it was really interesting. If I can think of the name, I'll let you know. But yeah, no, that's really cool.
It's like riding a bike, the same thing. You know, obviously you can talk about astral projection, but if you start actually trying it and doing it, or maybe joining groups that have a system maybe that works, that they've been doing, or you just researching yourself, just trying it, something's bound to happen. It's bound to happen. But
Like even in your dreams, like a lot of people, like they aspire to have lucid dreams where they can go into their dreams and like do whatever the fuck that they want because they know it's a dream.
Yeah.
Like, it's really cool.
And then imagine understanding that this is just a dream too.
Yeah.
So if this is just a dream too, you can do, obviously in reason. I'm all about doing whatever you want. We're not harming people, but you know, you can create anything. This is like the Matrix. Once you understand that, you can create everything. Nothing can stop you. You can stop bullets. You can do all that by understanding, you know, who you really are, connecting to your true inner self. All right, so now the Hebrew letter that connects this, we went and said before, is Mem. Okay, so Mem means water, but Mem, the cool thing about Mem is that Hebrew has basic letters then final letters. This is actually the final version of Mem is basically closed. It's not, see how the Mem that begins a sentence is open here? This one is closed. That's how intricate Hebrew is. So,
So that's like a beginning and an end letter?
Yeah, so there's about, I think, maybe 4 or 5 of them that have a final letter to it, and you have to know that. So I'm learning how to do stuff and make, you know, angelical names or names of God. I have to know which one ends in that, so I can put the right letter. Because if someone was actually reading Hebrew, they'd be like, wait, you have the wrong ending letter there.
But it says like type mother.
Yeah, so this is just something I took off online because I liked it because it had the Kabbalah and it had like the meanings of Mem as forms of in what it connects to in Kabbalistic stuff. So it's Mem, Gematria means this is 40. So remember, every letter is a number and it means something, so that's 40, but the final is 600. So if you're using it to do numerology, you have to know that, because then that totally changes the thing, because it's 600. Power is M, so it's a sounding, it's a sound. Type, mother, it connects to the mother, right? Mary, you know, from the water. Astrology says water. Hangman is a car, and the color blue, right? Water and blue. And there's even a note. There's even musical notes connected to this stuff too, as well. And alchemy, it's also water.
Well, it's interesting because we were talking about how the tree of life is similar, like looking to the chakra system.
Yeah.
You know, and how the chakras have different frequencies and stuff like that too.
Yeah. So chakras, you could think of chakras, guys, as like energy centers. So they're like energy centers that maybe control different aspects. Like you have to open up your heart more. So there's an energy center there that maybe it maybe blocks it. So now, but think of the tree of life as more of phases of consciousness. So more into like, this is a phase of like infinite divinity. This is a phase of wisdom, a phase of understanding. And as you get down, you're close to where we are. This is a phase of mercy. So these like, it takes a different type of consciousness to be merciful, right? You know, which is, so it's different from the energy centers in the Eastern way, but there are some connections too as well. This is Gabor, so connects to Mars and severity. Like sometimes we need that severe energy. Sometimes, you know, we need to be forceful. Not always, but sometimes. This is the middle yellow, which connects to the sun, and beauty, represents beauty, because right, the sun's beautiful, the sun sheds light, the sun gives life because it causes things to grow. The green one is Netzach, it connects to Venus or victory. And this is Hod, which connects to power, and Mercury, intellect. And this is Yesod, which is foundation, and then this right here is Malkuth, where we live. So this is actually called the kingdom. So these are, it connects to, but they're also conscious spheres, or this is like the map of the creation of consciousness in the Kabbalistic, you know, philosophy and the way they interpret consciousness.
Just interesting to me how we have the same ideas basically, but in different parts of the world that didn't even speak to one another. You know?
What does that tell you right there?
Yeah.
You know,
That's what you were talking about, the 99 monkeys, right?
Yeah, it's it's understanding that there is a silver thread, right? A silver lining. It says, right? There's a silver lining. You ever hear that term?
Yeah.
That means there's something, that's woven in that's connected. That shows how we are connected, how we are one. We're collective consciousness. It shows how consciousness is connected.
Aren't there some people that believe that like some of these things were brought here by aliens or something?
And think about it. There's a lot of biblical stories. There's a lot of Mayan stories, Aztec stories of these beings, these gods or angels. Even the Egyptians saw it. Isis and Osiris. They were real gods that came there and and ruled them and brought them knowledge. The God of both. So
From the stars.
they could have from the stars, of course. Some say that we are from the stars and we landed here and we're foreign to this world. We found it because we needed a place to survive.
And we just
the
don't
race.
remember
Yeah.
anymore.
Watch, there's a documentary of Graham Hancock called Ancient Civilizations.
Oh yeah.
But
Netflix, right?
Yeah, it shows like they build all the chapels facing certain star points.
Yeah.
It's like
Gobleteki,
they
all
come
the places
down
in
towards
Turkey,
them,
yeah.
and they're way older than
Ancient
people.
civilizations?
I
Yeah.
think it's something like that, or
Yeah,
like
it is. But and I think there was 2 of them shows that he did, but he did one recently, had I think maybe 6 episodes.
yeah.
But yeah, because a lot of those places are connected to like Orion's belt. There's something about those 3 stars there. There's something about it.
Well, let's say that's what they came and visited back in the day.
Mhm.
They come and visit the tribes and the places, and that's why they worship. Like those temples were all built like
Yeah.
towards them, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I don't deny that whatsoever. That was like a big piece and clip in my head.
Yeah, that's why it's as above so below. You start learning about all the stuff that's out there, and the ancients they knew all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Not ancient aliens.
No, it's what is it called? It's on Netflix.
The Graham-
Civilizations.
The Graham Hancock?
Neanderthals?
Some of the gods or something
You on
like that.
Netflix?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Uh,
wrote Food of the Gods, but look at
He wrote a lot of stuff.
Graham
Right, maybe
Hancock.
Graham Hancock. You can write him.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
it
next
should
level.
show up.
That show's pretty good. That's really good.
All right, we get to next. This is almost ready to the last card. Then we're going to pull a card soon. So this is like the transition from we started with Cancer, right? Zodiac sign that connects to Cancer is the tarot card, the Chariot.
Right.
And then we went over what rules Cancer, which is the Moon. That's why you have the Moon
Oh,
card
I
here,
love that. Yeah,
right?
That's awesome.
So now this is the progression of this Cancer season tarot class, and of understanding how you tarot and connecting to the zodiac seasons, it could really deepen your level of understanding with tarot, and also your readings too as well, and also helping yourself to unlock the psychic powers and the supernatural powers that we all have. All of us have it. And then now you see the High Priestess we went over today. She represents subconscious, which is ruled by the moon, which you saw in the other card with the moon under here. You can't see as much here, but we do find out that the moon's up here. This is the Isis crescent moon crown. And then the last card, which is the Hangman, that through the Hebrew letter that's associated with it, connects to water. So that's what we got. Cancer, the water sign.
I love
It's
it.
ruled by the moon, right? The moon card. Now we have subconscious. This is now, remember, this is getting deeper into the levels. Now subconscious is within, but it's also ruled by the moon, okay? And then now you get to water, because the cosmic flow is seen as water, which flows into the High Priestess, which is flowing here, which is causing creation, which is flowing in the background.
Now these are all
of the
Boba,
chariot.
right?
Yes, these are all Boda decks. Yep.
So like on the Rider Waite deck, which was the first one,
Mhm.
they didn't have like the mem, like the symbol on the Hanged Man.
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Rider Waite's deck, it was never intended to be an esoteric deck. It was
Right.
intended to be an exoteric deck.
Mm.
One not to explain stuff, not to allude to anything. It's really one to do readings. But he actually had, and there's some people that know that he actually had another deck.
Really?
That, yeah, it's hard to get your hands on, but he has an esoteric deck right away. Same author as an esoteric
Is it
deck.
super hard to get? Really?
Yeah,
No,
maybe
no,
watch. You probably finds it in 2 seconds.
I know.
No, but yeah. Oh, I heard some people that found it,
What's the name of it? You know. Sorry to be.
just look at right away esoteric deck.
Oh, right away.
hmm So that's why. Remember, so those cards are more exoteric. Like you go to church, it's exoteric, right? If you join a Jesuit order or something, you're learning esoteric stuff for Christianity that they're not telling the people because it's discipline to learn these languages. You need to learn Latin, Hebrew to really understand the esoteric knowledge in society, in spirituality, in religion, in groups.
Now I have a question on the Hangman. I'm still confused, like the meaning of that card. Like when you pull the Hangman, like what's going on in your head?
All right, so we're doing pulling a card, and someone's asked me about a relationship, and the Hangman, I would do a reading. So if you get the Hangman is showing me that you need to connect to something. You need to reverse the way you're thinking about something. That's like the most simplest way to interpret it if you're doing a reading, right? Because that's what it's all about, reversing. But it's all about reversing with ease too as well. Like not forcing it. So I would tell the person, not to force the outcome of the relationship based on the Hangman, based on that. And just a basic level of that. But that's why these cards, it's all about like you study it, like research it. Everyone I task you research it. So it's you can learn from what people are teaching you, but you will learn and find out interpretations that will be helpful to your path and your journey. So I mean, there's a lot of groups out there, but it's you never want to do the work yourself too as well. Yeah. So if you need to, if it's still not clear, research it. Go online, find books, and try to figure out what it connects to.
Nowadays, because there's so many different kinds of decks and so many different styles, and we're so far removed from the originals, and the original symbolism, that it's almost like there's almost a new symbolism to it. So say if you have like a totally different, you're not using one of these decks, you're using a different one, you may take a different interpretation from it based on what's on that, how that Hangman looks, that's the way that I think about it.
So, okay, very good disclaimer too, yes. Tarot is always open for interpretation. That's why tarot should never be used when you want a yes or no answer with divination. It's never going to give you yes or no. It's all about who's interpreting it.
Right, I like that.
Even when you do it yourself?
It's still left to interpretation, right? Because you need to interpret the symbolism that this particular card is telling you, or that you've learned.
A pendulum will just say yes or no answer.
Yep.
When you're saying yes and no as in divination, what's your definition of divination though?
Okay, so divination is basically connecting to the divine and using it to help get answers on a situation. People in the past, like Queen Elizabeth I, would use divination on should she expand her empire, and she would have people in her court that would do something called geomancy. Have you guys ever heard of geomancy?
Yeah.
No, what's that?
I'll put you some water before it's time. Get it dry now.
It's unacceptable. You have to.
Geomancy is using earth elements and using stuff like an I Ching coin, or they get a box of magical of dirt and like maybe a wand or something, and they would just randomly draw dots into it. And if it's a odd number, it would be a single dot, which is male positive. And if they got an even number, it would be 2 dots, which is feminine, right? And they would do that to get a vertical line of 4 dots, positive, negative, and they all connected to the zodiac and elements, right? So then, and they would be, some would be viewed as a good judge or a bad judge. So they would do
That's
this.
incredibly
It's a
convoluted.
Convoluted. It requires like a prayer invoking like angels and spirits and elementals, right? In that order, doing it, and then you make it's this whole shield. It's a huge shield chart. It gets so technical to where you go down and then you get one judge, and they, so they all add up to reduce to this one judge, and this judge could be favorable or unfavorable. That's how. If it's favorable, it's a yes. Unfavorable, it's a no.
Wow.
Well, I feel like
But it's very it's a yes or no answer. So yes, it's very intricate. It takes a lot of work. I've done it, but
You tried it?
yeah, so I'm in some of the groups I'm in. We learn all this stuff. And one of the groups we were required to learn it to be able to pass through grades and actually perform it. So I performed it for myself, like life questions I've asked for, and it helped me decide life, like starting a new job, not starting a new job, and listening to it, and relationships, everything where I needed a yes or no answer. Yeah, I've done
Wow.
it many times.
Well,
But
in terms
it takes
of
a lot of
that, though,
discipline to learn it. Yeah.
like in terms of that, you have like if you ask a question about divination, I mean I've been doing it for pretty long now. It's like been 60 years of doing it.
Okay.
Communicating with my soul. If it's something that doesn't take an ego attachment, like what clothing should I wear today? It's easy. You know what I mean? Because there's no egoic attachment. But the more serious a question is, as should I get out of this relationship? Should I change this job?
Mhm.
Should I do this? Or even with food, should I eat this? Should I eat that? Because there's an ego attachment, it gets harder and harder. It's like
Right.
what is
You say
your
harder and harder by using what? What
Harder
form
than
of divination?
divination.
Talking about with towers, saying?
No, just I mean I have my own form of divination where I get a yes in the energetic field around me and a no.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like the harder the questions, the harder it is where the barrier between the ego and the divination it gets interplayed. So like what is your method where like it's coming from the actual divine source versus it's coming from ego?
But sometimes, the divine source is kind of like could be your higher self, and that could even just come from within you as well.
Yeah, or your higher self. Like what's the in terms of divination?
Well, all right. Let
what's
me
the
give you an
mechanism
example.
by
So, if you're spending your nights reading, praying, meditating, right, for years, or if you're spending your nights hanging out, going to the bar, flipping people off, doing stuff that are not seemed, positive, right? And then you try it, like, yeah, it might be driven through ego because you're in like a low vibrational state. If you're opposite where you're disciplining yourself to connect to the divine by prayer, by meditating, meaning you're doing more actions that are spiritually minded daily, right? And more actions that are materially minded, you're bound to be able to connect more with your higher self or guardian angel when you're doing stuff like that. If you're just hanging out, playing cards, drinking a beer, maybe it might be some ego there because you're not connecting to that higher thing. Connecting to that higher level requires discipline at our day.
But have you ever saw with yourself where the divination almost becomes an attachment? For instance, like I get some weird stuff. Like I went out to go to a food place the other day, and I always ask my soul, like, not too much about me, but it was like get this and this, and it was like something with mango, and I'm like, I don't really want that. I walk in, the person gives me a free thing of mango. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or it's like I asked my soul like days I should take off this week. Like on what day should I take off? Because I never really take off days. It was like take off this day, and I was going to an event. It was like get 2 tickets, not just one. My friend I was supposed to go with canceled. Now it's another person I've been
Is
seeing.
this
Wow.
something you
They
hear?
texted me like last night at midnight, like, oh, I want to hang out. Now I'm going with this person.
Okay.
But when I bought the ticket, I had no idea who the ticket was for. But the
When
only
you
problem
get these things, are these like feelings, or are they
no,
like?
like there's a whole method where like
So you're doing divination to first figure out what the day to take off, and then you're saying everything else just fell in line.
yeah. But if I use affirmative, the only problem is it gets like addicting where it's like every little thing you try to use divination for. The only problem I
I
have
see
is
what
like
you're saying.
Okay.
I'm on the other side of the spectrum where like I can ask I can know a weekend ahead what day is going to be like a hard day or a good day for me. You know what I mean? Which is like kind of weird, but it's like if it's a not be so into that. Where like
So-
people try to be more connected, it'd be like try to be more in this reality of being able to like be normal in a sense.
It's like, all right, think of these things as tools, right? They're tools to help you to connect to the divine, right? But it gets to a point when you use the tools to build a house, right? But then you actually live in the house, right? Then you actually live in the house, meaning then you actually live. So meaning, it gets to a point where I pull less and less tarot cards myself. When I first got into it, I was pulling back. I barely pull tarot cards. Why? Because I'm so connected and guided. Where these are tools to help you help you connect to that, but they shouldn't be crutch.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go home and break the hammer out and try. Why am I gonna start hammering it or drilling sheetrock if it's already done already?
Yeah.
You follow? So it's all about understanding. It's a tool. It's helpful, but it gets to a point where maybe on real life decisions, use it if you feel guided to, but you should trust your highest self, your guardian angel, whatever your high power is, enough to let him guide you on that answer just by asking your intuition. God, please show me a sign. Or Angel Michael, please show me a sign today what I should do, and do it. But it's all about not relying on this for everything.
And have you felt?
Same with crystals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're tools.
I kind of went through that
They're
with
tools.
crystals, and I noticed it in other people. Like my friend, at the time, his name was Charlie, and he used to wear a ton of stones, and we used to be really into crystals when I was 15, and then as he got feeling older, now I don't know, I was 24, 25. He was so into it to the point where he can't leave his house if he doesn't have on his fucking bracelet.
Aww.
And then he would blame everything on. He's like, oh, that's because I didn't wear my freaking citrine today. That's why this happened. And I'm telling you, man, if I would have, I left this stone in my house and
Yeah,
and
that's
then
when
finally,
it becomes almost
it was an
OCD
obsession.
kind of
Yeah.
OCD or
And I was like, dude, and I finally said to
Yeah.
him, I was like, dude, they're tools. You're the magic. You could do everything without it. I was like, why don't you just try to not wear shit for a day and see what happens? And he's like, no, he was obsessed. He's like, no, I can't leave the house. He was, you know what I mean? So be mindful, I guess, of just of
Because it's weird how
it's
the
beautiful
brain,
to
the
follow
brain works
signs.
like that.
Yeah, it's beautiful to be ooh, this is meant to be, or 333. This is where I need to go, and it's but don't depend on it.
Remember, know thyself. Know thyself. Right?
Let me tell you,
Right.
I see fucking 1010 all the fucking time.
1010, that's a powerful number.
All the fucking time.
What is it telling you? What is it telling you?
I don't know. I still don't
You know what a tarot key connects to if you do the deduction?
2, right?
Drum roll, please. Yeah. And what tarot key is that?
Hold on. It is a High Priestess, yeah, 2.
High Priestess. So that's telling you High Priestess. She's guiding you. That's
need to
Isis.
follow
That's the
my
Divine Mother.
intuition.
But follow your intuition, like the Isis, like the Divine Mother.
You know what's crazy? Is I got the High Priestess in the mail.
What?
Yes, in
Really?
the mail. Because I ordered
shit, look at that.
I ordered a spell candle.
Okay.
It's one of these it's a candle and it has the crystals and the herbs and stuff.
Okay.
And the
Those are
scents
awesome,
that
yeah,
help
those are
you whatever. So that literally came in the mail, and it was right after I had lost my job. But when I had lost my job, it was kind of well, yeah, I can't fucking I've not been working in an office for 5 fucking years, and now I had to come into work in an office, and you know how it's annoying because when you work in an office, people fucking micromanage you and watch what you do every second of the day. I did great work. My work was great, but if I was on my phone and they would get so fucking pissed about shit like that, and I'm I just hate feeling controlled, and I like the feeling of being independent and not having to follow somebody's rules.
Okay.
So to me it was just okay, Sophia, for years you were self-employed, just start your own business again, get the fuck out, So even though I had lost my job, I didn't get all upset about it because I just kind of thought to myself, fucking hated it there, this is not my calling,
So service level, then, when you guys think of a High Priestess, what do you think of, besides the symbolism in the card and whatever the deep stuff we're talking about? When you think of a High Priestess, put the card aside. What do you think? Power. What do you think of?
High Priestess, that was I wouldn't say power. I think I would say that middle path,
More or less like
balancing
that.
polarities.
Let's take the deep symbolism out.
Okay.
Just on a service level, when you think of a High Priestess, when you think of a High Judge, what do you think of?
I guess
An Emperor, what do you think of an Emperor?
Someone's above.
control, yeah.
They're not letting like
someone that rules, someone
Rules.
that's a high authority,
Yeah.
high priestess.
Almost like a teacher, a mentor.
High priestess. I remember in the ancient times, the priests were the ones that ruled the society, and the priestesses too as well. You know, obviously they might have gotten forgotten, but they were high priestess, and that's why she alludes to Isis.
That's something I would feel called towards too. Is
There you
teaching.
go.
You know, but about life. You know, and like getting past things.
If that's your purpose, you
Yeah.
connect to the high priestess. Take the card out, on a daily basis, and meditate with it. Look at it, meditate with it, light a candle.
She's following me.
There you go.
She's following me. Yeah.
When you're saying you're meditating the card, because I like the idea of that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do the Hangman. That was a good example. Or let's do the Chariot. So
Okay.
you because we talked about that. The Chariot, you would imagine yourself in a chariot
Imagine myself in the chariot right now.
with the two.
I'm in the chariot, yeah. The sphinxes are in front of me. I have the breastplate on me. The canopy of stars are above me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this water behind
You
me.
try and like
and
literally
this,
put yourself
Yeah.
into
Yes.
the person in the car.
Yes, because why? Because these are modes of consciousness. So it's learning to connect to that modes of consciousness. If you're trying to connect to a high priest, you're trying to think of what she embodies, what she means, and in whatever situation you're going through, you connect to it. Think of what the moon means. Think of what the hangman means. You know, not just what you're learning and what you learn too as well. If you want to reverse the way you're thinking, for me, I go on an inversion table and literally hang upside down. I literally embody it.
Inversion table, I think that helps.
No, it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's great.
So it's also helping my physical aspect, but I'm also actually putting my hands like that and thinking that my leg is crossed because I can't cross it, but envisioning myself like that, suspending myself or connecting to the higher self and like letting it to flow into me. You know, so these cards are beyond the use of just doing readings. I call it politics. Okay, anyone could do that. Anyone could.
Do you have a
could teach it.
daily meditation practice?
Yes, I have a lot. I have a daily ceremonial magic rituals. I do. I invoke, do an invoking ritual with the pentagram every morning. I do a banishing ritual with the pentagram every night. I do middle pillar rituals. I do meditations, breathing, prayers.
Well, what dictates
Every
your
night,
routine?
every
Is
day.
it the same stuff every day, or do you let your intuition guide you to specific things? So there's only so many hours in the day, right? So you can have
Well, actually 24 hours in a day.
24. So say you can have there's all these things you want to do.
24 inch.
How are
Okay.
you choosing which ones to do? Like, are you doing meditation this morning? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Are you letting? There's some deciphering mechanism by which you're letting pick and choose the methods that you do in that
Yeah.
day?
So first, like we said before, it starts with using tools. So there's tools I've been learning and using, right? And then it gets to a point where I don't need to read a manual how to brush my teeth every morning, right? You follow? Because but you have to learn, you have to use the tools, utilize what the benefit of doing them, right, is of being of time management, or there's a thing called the ABC category I learned in school, and it's like A, top priority stuff, going to work, right, paying my bills, top priority. B, changing my oil, right, top priority, getting my inspections. C, reading a book, doing meditating. If I'm in 9 to 5 hours of work, I'm doing the A stuff. I'm at work, I'm focused, I'm not doing the B stuff unless I have to change my oil, right? And I'm not doing the C stuff, because if I'm meditating during a sales appointment or at a meeting, what's this guy doing? So it's using the tools,
I think it's also like each person, you have to follow your intuition as to what feels good. You have to do what feels good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I tell myself I have a 5-minute journal.
Drinking can feel good.
And sometimes I don't want to write my 5-minute journal. Like, I don't know if you've heard of the 5-minute journal, but it literally is only a few questions. And sometimes I just don't. Like, it's the end of the day, I just don't want to do it. And like, sometimes it's okay. Like, sometimes you get really tired and you don't want to brush your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you're right.
You just have to like go
But for
by
the
how
most
you feel.
part, majority of the days of the week you're brushing your teeth and you're not, right? If you forget one time, but you're in the habit. And even you're in the habit, it's all about subconscious patterns, right? So when I use my auto start of my car, I go on what I have to do. You still have to press the ignition button, right, to keep it to go on. Sometimes, like if I just started the car and left and didn't use auto start, I'll go and sit in the car, and I just a habit, and I want to go to press and it turns off. Like, oh shit, I forgot that I didn't use auto start this one time. But that to show me that well, we don't realize how everything we do, we're in a pattern. So half the time you're in a pattern, you're in your subconscious pattern. I'll be driving from the city once a month from my different classes, from boater classes or whatnot, and I'm like, wait, how did I get home already? Like I totally phased out where it's like, how did I not hit a car?
I've totally done the same thing.
What's happening to you? Because your conscious mind, the male part of you, goes to sleep, and then that subconscious mind kicks in.
Yeah.
She's always there. She's what? She's always there because she's the High Priestess. Subconscious. Right behind you, running all your programs. That's why it says Torah, the law. She is the law. She knows the law. What is the law? Is that subconscious runs everything. It is your High Priestess. Without her, you're dead. Your heart isn't pumping.
Your subconscious is your
why
higher self.
I like the idea of the meditation with the cards because
or more or less connects to your higher self.
Well, when you're meditating with the cards, and even when you're reading books, like you get to the point where you're reading some crazy, highly advanced books where you're like, your mental mind can't understand it, but it's still getting into the subconscious. Like,
absolutely.
What is your mechanism? Like, you're trying to understand something, but like, you're trying to understand something at the level which you could think about it, but like your mind is so limited. Like even in prayer and stuff, when you're going into prayer and you're doing stuff, and maybe like you're doing a clearing, and you're like, I have no idea what my body's doing right now, but like you can even like sense like your actual higher self is communicating with spirits, but like your brain can't conceptualize it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's where your brain can't, because you have to connect to your infinite brain, the cloud. You're once again, it's hard. It's not easy. If you get to a point of understanding, you're not your brain. You're a spiritual being. Spiritual being is infinite, immortal. You connect to that cloud, which is because the mind is just used as like a tool. It's like your pet. Your dog protects you. You pet it, but it's not you. You're the master of the dog.
Yeah.
So it's understand that. Yeah. If you lean on your own understanding, some scriptures say, of course, you have to lean on rock and solid foundation, on the higher self that's not stuck in this body. It's outside of you. It's all around you.
Mm-hmm.
So and plus it's also like trying to not to complicate stuff. Sometimes we overcomplicate things in life, and also like I don't know about you, but I couldn't just read the Bible once or a book once and get it, right?
Yeah.
So it's understanding. Sometimes you might read something once, doesn't mean, you're not meant to get it right there, because in 10 years, your understanding is going to be totally different.
Yeah.
So right? True. How many times do you reread books? I'm like, I didn't get this. What did they?
I literally
add this word in there?
The book of Enoch when I was like fucking 21. And like I just bought it because I thought it was cool. Like I was young and I was like, oh, spiritual, crazy, rare book, and I bought it. It was like fucking $300 on
expensive
eBay.
book.
You know what?
And
it's on TikTok Shop now.
Really? It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Not even.
But I got the first press. Like I just wanted.
No, I didn't get it, but it's on
but then
TikTok.
I read it a couple times. I was like, it's cool, but like, I didn't know what the fuck I was reading.
It's like $20.
When I was like
That's cheap,
35, that's when I actually like
700,
understood it. I went back and I was like, holy shit, I had this the whole time. You know what I mean? Like
amazing.
What's what kind of scares me is like I'm like all the ideas that I have right now in a decade
you're gonna be like you're gonna be a totally different person.
But that's what kind of scares me is like
5 years
these ideas that I think I have are just they mean shit. So it's like what's the mechanism by which you're like I know the ideas that I have right now are complete shit in the decade. So like how do you like even as you get older like at 20 to 40 to 60. Well, you think at 20 and 40, 60 and 80, you're gonna be like, I was so stupid. But like, in the moment, 25.
You're 25.
So in the moment of being 25, like how do you, or 45, like how do you know like the ideas that I have right now in a decade are gonna be nothing?
Well,
but how do you still have them?
It's relevant. It's relevant because it's now is the only thing we have,
your
right?
ears though too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even in like when you hit 40 or 50, it's like you're gonna be like, oh my god, I can't believe back in the day like
you thought
I thought that, or like I was in so much anxious or
anxiety.
What
you do too? You just the best thing about it is spirituality. Just laugh. You laugh and then you move on. Don't let it sink you down.
Yeah.
But also now you're 25 years old learning this stuff. I was learning this stuff at 25.
Yo,
Yeah,
for fucking
You're
real.
ahead of the game.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
way, bro. Just
Yeah.
you being here, you're way ahead.
You are
Yeah,
far
that's
ahead.
because I had a weird childhood.
Yeah.
I used to like take like a weird thing. I don't know if you ever meet anyone.
I think
Look,
all of us
I
can say
used to
that we had
take
a weird
baths as a
childhood.
kid,
You know?
like weird baths, right? Where I would go in the bath and like ever since a little kid, I put my feet up on the wall and I go back till my eyes were covered and only my nose would be able to breathe. And I turn the lights off and I would do like every hour, every single night for an hour. And I would,
Like
You would
almost
what?
like meditation.
You would go back.
yeah, so I'd be laying in
Almost
the,
like a
in the bathtub, right?
And wait,
Yeah,
in what?
like
What were you
that.
inside?
In water. And my feet would be up, and all I could do is just I couldn't see anything, but the tip of my nose could breathe, and I would just go places. Like it would just be darkness, and like I would forget
Yo, that's
reality.
like some Donnie Darko shit.
I know, Donnie Darko, like, I'd never seen that before. But when he said Hangman in my head, I'm like, oh fuck, I kind of did that when I was a little
That's
kid.
cool. man.
Because your
You
soul
going with
knows.
it?
Your soul knows, and you're
I
close to your
think
soul when you're a kid.
you're an intuitive person.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You're
No,
just,
you are.
you're-
Yeah, he's.
But
I feel like you
What-
can't pull
what's
anything.
what's the-
like,
what's
you're,
your zodiac
you're just
again?
like you see through people. You know?
What's your
Yeah.
zodiac? You're a
Taurus.
Taurus. Okay. But,
Super grounded.
but what's your rising?
I think Cancer maybe.
Oh, there you
I
go.
think so.
Yeah, so that's where you get the
I
water
could see
from.
you being Cancer.
I think
Yeah.
so. I don't know. I didn't. But funny, Brian. It was good that we talked today about the
Yeah.
tool thing because Brian, who used to do class, I did a reading
Yeah.
with him, and he's like, "Dude, like, your head is like in the toilet. Like, you gotta like get back into reality. Like, 'cause
Mhm.
sometimes like I feel like it's somewhat sore. Most people they want to be more spiritual, but like, it's a weird thing where like you're too healthy. That's why I see you guys
Right.
healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
where you're
yeah.
too spiritual. It's like being able to like chill the fuck out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you
it's
sold
like-
my room. Like I have books everywhere. Like I got off my ADHD medicine like
yeah.
a year ago, right? And it is crazy. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's stuff everywhere. I keep buying books, and then sometimes I have to pull off and like just go watch Netflix because like
Right, you
the
need to,
books.
like,
Yeah, I
unplug
need to
a
like
little
get
Yeah.
away or
Do you know how many times
go
I like
around
close
stuff.
here
Yeah.
and it's just like the most chaotic day of just like dealing with crazy customers and like worrying about rent, all this shit, and I just ride my bike around. I literally leave my phone here and I just ride my bike like in like the parking lot, just like a little kid. I'm like, I need to just like fucking unplug,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just like, and you know, like again, balance, go back to like,
Yeah.
you know, so I think that's what a lot of this shit in general, just all of it is just like, you can't be too spacey in the air all
Nope.
the time and like love and light and rainbows and kitties and you know
Yeah.
you can't be way too like money and like material. Like you need that, you know, you know, you wear like a direct pillar between both.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's like it just knowing what you are and kind of knowing like we're here, but we're not really here. We're here. We should enjoy it, but you also can't abuse it. You can't like hurt people. You know, so it's like have that. I don't want to keep saying balance, but that
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, isn't
You know, I
balance
think
what it's all
it is.
about?
Think of your body; it's
Mhm.
constantly trying to get homeostasis, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you eat food, your friggling insulin is constantly raising and lowering and higher your blood fucking pressure. Like it's your
Yeah,
body,
no, it's
your
crazy.
fucking
It's
biology.
It's an organic
constantly-
computer. It's an
think about it.
organic
It's
computer.
constantly like, okay, I put fucking like honey in. Now I'm gonna do this and like raise
Yeah.
this. And it's just like you put, you know, it's just constant.
Yeah,
like
that's
your
the
body
thing.
does it naturally. You know what I mean? So it's like.
incredible.
But knowing both, like you know, the whole spiritual world, like the whole like community, I think there's so much delusion, like so much delusion. Like if you go to all these like kirtans, these like drum fucking like circles and all this shit, it's beautiful stuff. People like come and
Yeah.
it's fine, right? I'm not
Yeah.
like knocking it,
Yeah.
but anytime you bring up some darkness or anything, it's almost like, oh, that's not love and light, like that's bad, like you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
run away from it,
It's
and it's
almost
just
like
like,
toxic positivity.
yeah, it's like,
and that
and-
spiritual retreat, everyone's like kind of get back to reality. Like, yeah, fuck this, fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell, man? You're just peace and love for those.
exactly, yeah. So like, it's just you need the darkness, you need
There
look, you need
is,
the black,
yeah.
you need the white,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
That's what like the checkerboard represents too. It's
Yeah.
like, it's
Like I
both.
sometimes hate like
It's like you're gonna have to be on the black
Like-
square.
like
you're gonna have to be on the white
they're
square.
always saying
There's gonna
all
be
these
times
nice
when like
things
you may
when
have
they're
to take,
thinking all the
you know, and then you can give.
Because they have
It's
to.
all
because
about
they're-
like
I know.
they're on stage
knowing,
and they have to
not
be-
being
if not, they
afraid
could-
of like,
Something go viral, they could just
you know what I
lose
mean. And
everything.
that's what like
So
the
they
magic
have to be so
quote unquote
scripted
lies.
because
It's
you
like
know,
you're
it's-
two people.
But it's so shit.
Like someone like told me
Because
once,
it's like
Yeah, it's
not
high
real.
level
It's not.
freaking like Mason,
The
like
best
he
thing
just
is
like
knowing
it
that.
spoke to
Once
my
you know
soul.
that,
He's like
you
you're
never get
two
fooled by it.
people. He's like once you realize
some people
there's
do. Some people
two
get fooled by
spirits
it.
inside of you all the time. He's like like, you know, when you're free. And I was like, oh shit, like, you
What
know,
would be the two spirits like the what would that be?
it's there's a right, like you, right, John, right? There's a really loving, beautiful John inside you, right? That loves and all the good stuff, right? But there's also a really fucking wicked John inside of you, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be times you're gonna need that wicked John to come out
Right here,
in certain
severity,
situations.
severity,
You know, and it's
yeah.
like, and don't be afraid of that John. You know,
Yeah.
like don't
Like
don't
the
be
car,
afraid
your own
to like
shadow.
don't be afraid to like go to the gym and fucking kill it and like raw. You know, like that's okay. You know, and then also do your fucking like yoga. You know, and like meditate and stuff. And you know, there's gonna be that John that someone may slap your girl just on the ass, and you're gonna punch him in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that's okay. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like people are just like, oh no, it's all about like just.
Yeah, maybe he was having a bad day. So
Yeah, yeah. It's like
the
yo.
darkness
No,
is
yeah.
also there to protect you.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
It has
okay.
to protect
There we
you.
go. I like that.
I got another question. I feel like it's a good segue to this.
Yeah,
if you don't mind. Where like I was the big thing I've been doing a lot of meditation on is like, you know, the biggest thing is like what actually makes like there's a school that I went to with the holistic health practitioner I like where there's 4 doctors where you have Dr. Diet, which you know you eat healthy, Dr. Movement, where you gotta move your body, Dr. Quiet, introspection, sleep, and then Dr. Happiness of your dream goals, which create your values and what makes you happy in life, right? And those are the 4 doctors.
Yeah.
But then the question is like, what does make you happy, right?
Yes.
And then I was doing like I do artwork with my soul where it picks the colors and it picks the shapes and symbols. Sometimes like the words come in, but like your ego isn't there because the ego can't function in artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So like the thing that came through was like, what is happiness? Like happiness is anything you do where like your mind isn't there. But it's the hardest thing of like what is happiness? Like what does like this playing sports? Yeah, like, that was cool. That made me happy. Like
But it's
now it's
also
like
like
changes.
now it
sometimes
doesn't
you
do
can't
that
get
anymore.
too
Right.
attached to
Man.
certain things
Because we're constantly evolving. You know, like I think.
My life group, they're all from this town.
Oh, cool.
Like everyone is from this
I think it's just
town.
word of mouth. Like,
So it's like this, once you
don't
get
tell a
in with
couple
this
people.
town, it's like everyone knows, like Sayville's such a small community. It's
Yeah,
like
it
the town
is.
I grew up in Nassau, which is Seaford, where it's like once it gets up,
Yep.
everyone knows it. Then it's like at that point the funneling system, it's sort of funneling itself, this person, this person, this person, this person.
Right.
But like, I feel like small towns are hard, like just popping it up. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because like it has to get known. And then it's like little places. Because like I
It's
hear
like
all day.
weird,
They all
because
know the
South
pizza places.
Shore
and
is
everything.
usually more community-like. So like if you compare like Bayshore, there's so much pride for Bayshore.
Oh, is there? Yeah.
And there's so much pride, especially for like people that live in Patchogue. Like
Of course.
they're like gung ho, like they all support
Yeah.
the like small businesses and shit like that. Where I feel like for some reason it's not the same exact way in Sayville.
Sayville's
I
a
don't
getaway
know
place.
why.
It's a getaway place because you can take the ferry from here.
Right.
So the town people go through to go someplace else.
Right.
Common people, people
It's
go.
true. Say it was like a
Fire.
stopover.
It's just it's not.
Yeah.
It's and it's okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Patchogue back to back having a Patchogue or a Bayshore,
Yeah.
it makes it unique and going. But
Yeah.
it's understanding what kind of town this is.
Yeah.
But we got for the past,
Oh,
the
yeah,
moon.
Yeah. Sorry.
For the present, we got
the world.
the world, and now for the future, we got
Hierophants.
the Hierophant.
Wow.
And it's interesting too because this card connects to you. That's Taurus.
Oh, that's right. That is
Yeah.
Taurus. Yeah.
So the Hierophant. Now what? Now think about everything we just said before.
Yeah.
Or what you said, the creativity, everything, the intuition that was put into building this place,
Intention,
right?
yeah.
Intention. And then now what you're trying to do, where you're rethinking of what this, it's reformulating, but the future holds a Hierophant. What's the Hierophant? If we look at the Hierophant is basically, it shows that this is going to be a place. This is going to be a place where people could come to sit and get inspiration, get knowledge from the divine or from the higher self, or connect to a higher way of thinking or a higher way of just wine and sip nights are gonna be different here, right?
Yeah,
It's gonna be a different vibe, a different energy, but it's gonna be a place where we're gonna be able to connect. And this represents your higher self intuition, being able to put aside your desires and your intellect to sit at the
So
foot
is the
of your higher self.
Hierophant kind of like the
Yeah.
male version of the High Priestess?
In a sense, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, in a sense. But it also, it's just like that. High Priestess represents, it's an internal thing. This is also shows that he's in between two pillars too as well.
Yeah.
So this is an internal thing of this is connecting to your higher self. Not more or less not like going to the Pope, but going to within. But you have to put your desires, the rose, the lilies are your intellect, your sense knowledge, right? Because there's 5 petals, 5 senses. You have to put those aside to be able to go within and get that inner inspiration from your higher self, or from your guardian angel, and that shows that this place is going to be that type of place.
That's awesome, man. Amen.
And what was the difference in the High Priestess and the Higher?
It's trying to tell you the same thing. It's alluding to the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just in a masculine form, you know, to depict it, but it's trying to tell you. Some cards represent like conscious stuff, like external, magician. I work out here doing it. High is more of a subconscious, inner. Right. Same thing. High represents inner, like going within to get guidance. You understand? It's when you see something in between pillars, a lot of times it means go within. That's why, because it's in the middle. So it's trying to tell you that. You know, so obviously it's connected to Taurus. So now you have to understand Taurus and stability, and it's ruled by Venus. So then you go deeper. Venus, love, go within and be ruled by love. You know, so it's now that's how you could interpret the cards based on understanding what astrological signs connect to this card and what it represents based on this card.
What's the Hebrew letter on the Higher?
It's a good one.
Just out of curiosity.
Very good one.
Because now I'm just like in it.
Hebrew letter is Vav.
Okay.
Vav is a nail or a hook. So it's Yod, Hey, Vav.
Oh, yeah.
Because it connects something. Vav also is the Hebrew letter which is connected to not the first Kabbalistic world, which is Azulu, not the second, which is Bria, the third, which is ruled by air, Yetzirah.
Yeah.
It's all about forming. The book of Yetzirah, Sefer Yetzirah means book of formation. So it's all about forming. A nail, right, brings things together. Piece of sheetrock, piece of wood, are two different things. With the nail, the screw, it brings it together. So that's what you say. Your future is all about bringing people together.
I love it.
So
that's what it's saying.
A tool would be like, say, if Mike's trust with the business, he could meditate on the Hierophant and imagine himself as the Hierophant for inspiration. Is that like?
Absolutely. Imagine yourself as the Hierophant and just envision the Hierophant in huge over the whole place. Like imagine we're here in the place right now. Envision him, right now coming down on the place. You could literally connect, and it's just a way to help you to connect to that energy. That's all it is.
Right. Even the angels is like you visualize them really like falling from the astral realm as you're getting that energy, that frequency when you do the vanishing ritual and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just these are different tools that we use to connect to energy. You get to a point where you could just connect to energy, but we got to use the tool first.
Yeah.
We got to use the picture because it connects to the subconscious mind. Right? And it's going to help us to do magic.